have with me a very, very, very special guest today. This is a man who's wanted all across right now, across all interview panels. We're very honored to have him here. The Ambassador Reuven Azar, the State of Israel. He's the ambassador to India. He came to India in 2024. It's going to be 2 years. How has the journey been, Ambassador?
Amazing. It's a discovery of a new world for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I never served in this part of the world. My specialty was like Middle East, a little bit of United States, but India is completely new and it's so rich. And I already got to the conclusion, unfortunately, that when I leave here, I won't be able really to be able to understand and to know where I am.
Really?
It's impossible.
It is. It is. It's also a chaos which is also got some sort of an order, and India is very befuddling for everybody. The first 3 months of their entry, I want you to talk to us about that as well. How were the first few months? Was it crazy for you? Because India is like nothing else.
Right.
How was it?
It was amazing. Look, I worked very hard to get to India because I understood that India is very special for Israel.
Yes.
And India is also a very important strategic opportunity for Israel. Because there is a country, the most populated country in the world, that actually Israelis admire, and that, you know, mostly also admire Israel. So,
yes.
And we are in a moment in our history that is very, very unique. You know, after
At
more
this
or less,
point in time, yes.
we have similarities. You know, we are so different on the one hand because you are huge, we are small. You are very diverse in terms of languages. Your weather is different, everything is different, but we have many things in common. The first is history.
Yes.
Because we are, you know, old civilizations and young countries. So we started off like, you know, as socialist, secular countries, and we became a little bit more conservative. We have this strong identity that we managed to preserve for millennia, despite all these foreign invasions.
Absolutely.
And now we are sort of reviving our identity, our attachment to our culture, to our you know,
roots.
To our roots. And this is making us very energetic, very empowered, very proud, very willing to sort of, you know,
take on the world.
Yes.
On our own terms.
Yes.
I think both India and Israel are doing that to a large extent.
And I arrived here and I discovered that very fast, very fast. And of course I was thrilled because, you know, as an ambassador, you get to a country, you have a limited period of time. You have to sort of understand what are your main goals. What is that you're going to try to achieve during the tenure
that you're going to be here.
And devise a plan. So the first three months are like, you know, a very condensed kind of crash course that you have
in getting used to it.
Yes. So of course there are the personal, there's a personal angle, but usually in the first few months you don't think about personal.
No, you're going to understand where you're going to be on your own.
You're completely consumed by trying to grasp things, to understand, to, you know your own team, to get to know the main, you know, contact people of the embassy, to try to discover new people and to get to very fast to the conclusion of what is that you are going to try to achieve. So this is what I did in my first 3 months.
So it was an exciting time.
Yes.
I've always wondered, Ambassador, when you go to meet all of these people, how important does your personal communication become? Because, you know, when you meet anybody at a formal event and for them to turn around to trust you or you to trust them, and you have a job of diplomacy, it's not going to be easy. How fast or how tough is it to develop those personal relationships in such strong times? Yeah,
it's a challenge. Many times it's a matter of personal chemistry. You know, different people communicate with different people in different ways. So I think it's a lot of people seeing you, the state of Israel, the state that you are presenting. So first of all, you have to be very careful about that because you are not just representing yourself.
But the country.
There are things that have to do, of course, obviously, with common interest and things that you want to achieve. But yes, I think that the main task is to listen very carefully in order to try to understand what is the opportunity or what is the obstacle that you have to overcome in order to get really to develop the relationship in the most efficient way. So yes, chemistry and personal chemistry can take you thus far. It's not the only thing that counts.
But it's important enough.
But it's important, yes, of course.
But it is important. You've had quite a personal journey from Argentina, Jerusalem, India. How has the last decade been for you, so to speak?
Well, it's been an amazing decade. I finished, about 10 years ago, I was in my tenure in Washington, D.C. That was a time which the Obama administration finished its tenure, and then the first Trump administration started.
Yes.
So it was a huge change for us. American politics changed forever when President Trump got elected. Even before he came to power, the entire dynamic of how we used to know and understand America changed.
Has changed,
because
yes.
the politics changed. Washington, D.C. changed, everything changed, and it was an amazing period to work. Of course, then I came back from the United States and started working with our Prime Minister, and that was also pretty amazing. It's very intense, as you can imagine.
Because you were looking at...
And we had major developments at that time. We signed the Abraham Accords, and I had the privilege to be in the first plane that we went with to Morocco and Bahrain and the UAE. It was an amazing time, and then I got this assignment to Romania. Before I came to the ministry. I dealt with China a lot. This gave me actually a good background for India, because China is like your most.
I'm very curious to see how you're going to phrase this.
your most big and powerful neighbor.
Yes.
Right. And when I heard that this position is getting open, I really tried to grab it as powerfully as I can, because I understood that not only that we have a lot of things in common, we have a lot of common interests and common goals when it comes to innovation and the fight against radicalism and terrorism, scientific cooperation. Our government saw, after the war started, after the 7th of October, that, the true friends stayed with us, supported us. I'm not talking about supporting the war effort, I'm supporting, understanding. And, in times of need, in times of trouble, you always...
You know who your friends are.
Yes.
Who your allies are.
Right.
It's very clear.
And so when I arrived here, I saw a lot of backwind that I was getting from the government. I managed to bring here 7 ministers. We prepared, of course, the visit of Prime Minister Modi. That happened last February. And we worked on many agreements. We've been able to sign about 17 MOUs, 2 security agreements, and this is continuing. Our academia is all over here. We are doing great projects, and now we are going to expand them.
In fact, I was reading on this. A lot of people do believe that India-Israel are newer relationships, but actually we go back thousands of years. It is a part of history for each other.
Right.
I have not read much on that, surprisingly, and you want to comment on that?
Well, first of all, in our scriptures, I think that I looked back at it last week. I think there are only 16 countries that are mentioned in the Bible, and India is one of them.
Really?
Yes. So India was regarded to be the most distant country in the world, compared to the ancient times. And we have common heritage because throughout history, different Jewish tribes have been emigrating to India. So we know very famously the Bnei Israel, the Kochinis, the people in the northeast, Bnei Menashe and others, the Baghdadis. So, following every crisis that we had in our region, you had waves of immigration. And what was very special about India is that here, maybe with the only exception of the short period of the Portuguese and the Inquisition, Jews were never persecuted.
They weren't. They've had a very peaceful existence. Yeah.
Right. And these are good memories. Today in Israel we have about 100,000 Israelis from Indian origin, and the memories are positive. The connections are good. And this is a kind of a bridge, a very powerful bridge that we have between our
the two cultures.
Yes.
Literally the two cultures over the years.
But we have even more in common, because what is very special about Judaism and Hinduism and Buddhism, that we are not missionary.
No, we're not.
Right? So the way that our cultures spread was in people-to-people contact. It wasn't something that was, coerced with politics or with the power of the sword.
Yes.
And you can see it in Israel, when people practice yoga, or it's something that comes very natural. It's part of the soft power.
Is yoga popular in Israel?
Yes, very much so. Yes.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
Over the last few years, or has it?
I think the trend started about 20, 30 years ago. Because about when I was even before, about 40 years ago, young people started coming here, learning, spending time here. And we have a lot of instructors in Israel. A lot of, in every town you will have, yoga lessons, yoga instructors.
That is fantastic.
Yeah,
what are the other influences of India that are there majorly in Israel?
Well, movies, of course. Bollywood has been amazing.
A huge thing, yes.
Mainly since the 60s, in the golden time of the cinema. We've seen, some of the food came, but kind of a more softer version.
So I'm going to go back to the movies. Have you been introduced to Indian movies or actors?
Yeah, it started before I, before I
in
came
recent
to
times, are you?
Here, look, I see. Of course, the last movie I saw was Durandar. Both of them.
Yes.
And it's amazing that you go for to the cinema. You sit there 4 hours.
This is the first time we've made 4-hour movies. Very honestly,
Yeah.
our movies are generally 2.5, 3 hours.
And for 4 hours you cannot move. Yeah, very powerful, very good. Yeah.
Do you like Indian movies?
Yes, absolutely.
The Bollywood industry does interest you.
I'm not an expert, but I'm trying to keep
enjoy
up.
it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And so you have and also the Buddhism and dietary, all the dietary things, and relaxation,
the
silence. There was a time about 10 years ago that this meditation and silence
started working. Yes,
were very powerful. There are a lot of influence.
That is fantastic to know that Israel and India have so much in common that you've seen over the years. You've said that tolerance is one of the 6 pillars of this relationship between India, where Jews have lived in for centuries. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah. So first of all, I said that we are not missionaries. We are not trying to impose. And so we basically accept the other. And in Israel, you can feel it very well. Have you visited Israel? You should come.
No, I haven't.
So you will see that it's a very diverse society. Because first of all, we people came from all over the world, from different communities, different ethnicities, and people are not only practicing different religions. We have about 18% Muslims in Israel, a community of about 200,000 Christians, Druze, Circassians. Jerusalem is a very unique city, which is a center, a religious center for several religions. Okay, all the Abrahamic religions, and then you have the Baha'is in Haifa and Akko. It's the world center of the Baha'i religion. So the population is very diverse. Even the Jewish population is very different. Speak different languages, and we have this unique situation which each community brought back from their countries, different foods, different, So
an amalgamation of various cultures.
It's an amazing amalgamation. And people like it. It's I think this diversity gives us a lot of power. Because
we believe the same for our country. Diversity is power, that everybody coming together to be as one. And
so we have this civilizational commonalities, okay, that I was talking about. On the one hand, embracing proudly the identity that we didn't lost, like many Asian peoples, and tolerance is another one. But we have other things in common, the democratic values.
How essential is tolerism in today's world? Tolerance per se, how essential is that?
How essential? Look, it's very important. I think that at the end of the day, if you want to have quality of life and you want to enrich your life, you will always learn more from people that are different from you than from people that are similar to you. So you need
to remember. Yes, that is
so
true.
you need cohesion, because
something that brings them all together and yet maintain their own individuality, and that's
cohesion is very important, because when you have that, you have solidarity. And I think that one of the challenges we have in the world is that societies lack solidarity.
Yes.
And people don't care enough about the other. And we discovered it following the 7th of October, this terrible disaster that happened to us. We saw hundreds of thousands of people volunteering to help one another. And this is really unique. And you know, when I was in Washington one day, I was requested to come and give a lecture to a group of people that was part of a fund what we call the Bonds. It's a fund that we established many years ago to bring foreign currency. When Israel just was born, we didn't have enough foreign currency. It became a very good investment kind of fund.
okay.
And I had to talk about Israel, and I said, okay, these guys know Israel already. What am I going to talk about? And suddenly, after Googling and thinking, I found this something called the happiness report.
The happiness index. That's
the happiness index.
Yes.
And I was absolutely amazed, because at that time, I think it was 2014 or 15, we were number 11 in the world. I said, how come? Like, we're a small country, we're not that, our life in Israel is expensive, we have wars, and how come? And then I said, okay, maybe these people are not too serious. Let's try to dig in. So I started looking at the parameters, okay? And one of the most significant parameters was solidarity.
That is fantastic, okay.
Because when you feel that your community
something.
And your country cares about you and you care about them, this gives you a sense of, let's say, of confidence.
And the ability to actually be at ease as well.
Right.
To a large extent, it would work.
Yeah. So solidarity is very important.
I have an important question. Water scarcity is something that India is dealing with right now.
Absolutely.
I know that Israel at some point in time did deal with it, and you dealt with it very successfully.
Yeah.
We have water scarcity, we have rivers we're not being able to control. Is there some way that Israel could help, sort of give us solutions? What is that?
Yeah, we're working on water issues for the last decade with India. It started practically when Prime Minister Netanyahu came here in 2017, and then Prime Minister Modi reciprocated with a visit to Israel, and they sort of discovered this subject, a subject that can be very
common for work for you, didn't work
for cooperation, because up to that point we already had vast cooperation in agriculture. We also have to do with water, but it was mainly precision irrigation that had to do with saving water, but also improving crops. But beyond agriculture, the issue of water is becoming a world crisis.
Yes.
Because as a result of development, people are consuming more water. And they are also contaminating
more water. Yes.
The water. So in Israel, what happened is that from scratch, we didn't have any water, almost any water. And even during the time of the British Mandate, I saw personally a study that said that the land of Israel cannot contain more than 1 million inhabitants, because there won't be enough water for everybody. Guess what? Today, between the river and the sea, we have about 16 million people.
That is fantastic.
Okay, in Israel we have 10 million, and then
across
in the Judean Samaria and Gaza there are about 6 million, 5 million Palestinians. So we have water, and we even export water. We export water to Jordan. So how we did that? Basically, we created, first of all, we decided the water is a national resource and it cannot be privately owned.
Yes.
So it's managed by the state. Second, we created a network
Okay.
that actually regulates the water and puts quotas of water. And what we did next is, beyond saving water with drip irrigation, we started purifying our sewage water.
So all of this happened simultaneously?
No, it was a process.
Okay.
Because we didn't have the money to invest in so much. So at the beginning, we were actually depending on natural resources, but we saw that as a result of the growing population that we are not going to have enough natural resources. We had crisis of water. So we started recycling. The first part was to recycle the water of the main city,
Yes.
Tel Aviv and all the cities around it. And we started sending the purified water to the desert, to the south,
Okay.
and then doing agriculture with it.
Fantastic.
So we grow today 70% of our crops with purified water.
That is lovely.
And we purify more than 90% of the water that we use. So it's a kind of
a cycle that's going on.
cycle. Okay. Now, even after we did that, it wasn't enough.
Okay.
So we started desalinating water.
Okay.
Thanks to the offshore gas that we found and the technology of desalination that became pretty cheap, we are now desalinating about 700 million cubic meters of water every year. And that water enters into the system, then is recycled and goes for agriculture, etc. So we got to the situation
The cycle is set beautifully.
in which this is sustainable, and we can increase the desalination in the same pace that we have growth in population. So that system also works because it's well maintained. It has sensors. We have very low level of leakage from our. Okay. So what we did with India is the following. First, we started, getting companies here that would share these technologies with bigger companies here that can actually adapt the technologies to the needs of India. Okay, whether it be in management of water, sensoring, purification, etc. When it comes to desalination, there's a huge company here called IDE, and this company is desalinating in India more water than in Israel, that the entire Israel nation. So they are desalinating about 1 billion cubic meters per year, mainly purifying the water of the oil refineries, of the nuclear reactors, and also the station in Chennai.
Yeah.
Hopefully they will also build the desalination station in Mumbai.
So you have come in to help in every way possible.
So we are working, and we're also trying to influence the way that projects are being engineered. Like we do analysis on one region and offer different ways of implementing water solutions. Some of the Israeli companies started being subcontracted by Indian companies to do projects.
So it's a work in progress.
Yes.
And we are hoping we will see results.
Yeah.
Master, tell us more about Tel Aviv. And is it more Delhi? Is it more Mumbai? You've been to these cities.
Well, usually we have a kind of a similarity that Jerusalem is the capital, like Delhi. It's more serious, more governmental, more religious, And Tel Aviv is more like Mumbai. It's more cultural, more open, more economic, more finance. It's the finance center of the country, and they have a different character. But the difference is that the distance between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem is just 60 kilometers, 1 hour.
Delhi and Bombay is way. This is because of our great length and breadth.
Kilometers.
Yes, more than that.
Yeah.
Which is your favorite city in India out of everything that you visited?
Look, I love nature. Everywhere in the world I go. So we did a lot of hikes in Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh. We went to Dharamsala and to Shimla and to Dehradun, Dehradun,
Yes,
and to,
which is now 2.5 hours from Delhi.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, and we went to the south, you know, to Kerala, to Kochi, to
Those are beautiful
the
as well.
mountains there. Very nice. The beaches of Goa are amazing. We went to Rajasthan, to Jaipur and Jodhpur, that are very unique.
Very
unique.
colourful, very
Yes,
bright, very
yes.
cultural, yes.
And of course, and you know, I also visited other places for work. Like I went to Calcutta, I went to Hyderabad.
Like I said, every city
Yeah.
has its own culture, has
Yeah.
its own character.
You know, Hyderabad is amazing because you have the modern part of the city and
Yes.
the old part. It's like they have the difference so stark in terms of, you know.
I think every city, everywhere I visit, the old city and the new city, they sort of collide at different places and they sort of take importance at different places.
Right.
And in India, I think I see that in every city, not every state, but literally every city. Hyderabad is an example. Even if you visit Delhi and old Delhi, if you go versus the new Gurgaon and the NCR, it's...
This country is very green.
Yeah.
Nature here and the, not just the flora, the fauna here.
I do think that we're
the
nature's
monkeys,
favorites, yes.
like
The
it would be-
monkeys!
yeah. It would be inconceivable. Like in Israel, suddenly you go out to the garden, you see a monkey coming. You know, it's crazy. For us, it's very.
It's
unusual.
normal now.
Yeah.
You are going to miss India when you leave this. It's not going to happen. India and Israel have set up 43 centers of excellence across the country, 35 of which are already operational. When are we going to see impact on ground? When do you hope to see
We
impact
have.
on ground? What kind of impact are we seeing?
A project that started about 30 years ago, and the Indian government decided to bet on Israeli technologies because what we have is a capability to impact the production of the small farmer. What is India is very unique about is that agriculture here is done mainly by small farmers.
Yes.
And the question is, how do you modernize in a situation that you don't manage a big farm? Because you know, in the U.S., in Europe, in other places,
They're bigger farms. Yes.
you have a process by which the small farmers are basically vanishing, and you have mainly big corporations that are taking over agricultural production. This is not the case here.
No.
So how do you get 150 million farmers
To actually use something.
to change their So first of all, you had to spread these centers all around the country, and what the government decided to do is to build nurseries,
Okay.
and the nurseries supply subsidized seedlings to the farmer,
Fair.
whether it be fruits or vegetables or flowers. Now, what these seedlings have in common is that they are more robust when it comes to their the crops that they give. Okay, these were seedlings that were developed in Israel to produce more product per
as compared to the original output that it would have. Yes.
and it's also more robust in terms of their sustainability against insects. So you need to use less pesticides. Okay.
Okay.
So this is one thing. When the farmer starts using,
He gets better produce. He gets cheaper. At
now
a
the
cheaper
other
price.
aspect is of course irrigation.
Yes.
So the idea is to move from flood irrigation to drip irrigation.
Okay.
So when you do the drip irrigation, you achieve two goals. First of all, you save water. But even, you know, for many farmers, they don't take that into account because they have enough water. But what it does is also increases production because it treats each and every plant with the exact quantity of water that it needs in order to get optimized. Okay, so this is also very important. Now, what these centers do is they also train on the modern methods. So we do training of
With
trainers,
farmers, yes.
and sometimes we also do training in Israel, and we do training for farmers. So eventually, what is happening is that this concept is getting so popular that they're not dependent on the centers of excellence anymore, and they work with companies in the private sector to supply them what they need. Some of the farmers have become very sophisticated. They buy their own seedlings. They don't need anymore the seedlings that the government supply. So this is something that has had a huge impact, and we feel it. You know, people tell us about it because many people we talk about, they know about Israeli agriculture already because it's there for many years, and it has really...
It's permeated almost across all.
So now we are using this platform also to introduce new technologies. that will serve the small farmers.
Better.
And I'll give you two examples. There are these two technologies, we are now demonstrating them now. One is called the end drip. It's also drip irrigation, but it's drip irrigation that doesn't require energy. Because one of the challenges of the farmers is the cost of energy. If you have to pump water,
Then you
many things that you have to do require energy. So this system uses gravitation only. It has a very unique membrane
Okay.
of drip irrigation that doesn't require pushing it with energy. It just you can irrigate a field of 150 to 150 meters just with gravitation. Another thing, for example, has to do with shelf life. We are introducing now a technology that
Which will
gives
increase.
we supply the farmer a kind of a box, a container that has a special kind of gas that replaces refrigeration.
Okay.
So you can
Again, saving on.
so you can prolong the life cycle of the produce. So you collect the produce. You know, one of the problems for every farmer is that from the moment that you harvest
The
until
storage.
you
yeah.
market, sometimes you lose 80% of the produce.
Yes.
So this technology is called NOF, N-O-F. It prolongs the life cycle for several weeks, and then until the company comes to collect your
You
produce,
have a better-
you have a much larger quantity of produce that hasn't been spoiled. Okay, so there are many technologies like that, and we of course cooperate with the Ministry of Agriculture. Many visitors from India come to Israel. We had this year a visit of the Federal Minister of Fisheries, because aquaculture is becoming a huge thing. Probably in the future, when the population continues to grow, a lot of the things that we consume will come from the sea,
Yes.
and we can grow in the sea.
know that
And these are also things that we share. The challenge is also climate change. In our region,
Missing it.
a lot of some of the explanation for the disasters and the wars we've seen is that farmers had to leave their farms and come to the city because
The water
there
and
wasn't enough water. So the question is how to create a situation in which even parts of the countries that are getting drier can continue producing food
And shifts don't need to happen
for
to a large
themselves
extent,
and
yes.
for the rest of the
Self-sustenance.
country, like states like Rajasthan, Punjab, and others.
I'm hoping Punjab, yes, definitely won't. Ambassador, when you were talking, the only thought in my head was that if I asked you right now about what's happening between, say, America and Israel, or I spoke to you about India and Israel, you would have answers. You have all the answers on irrigation facilities. You have all the answers about culture. You have answers about history. How well-read does one need to be an ambassador?
Oh.
How do you know everything about everything?
Yeah, you just have to be curious. That's it.
Is it just you? Is it everybody?
Yeah, I think it's everybody. You need to be curious, and it's part of the fun. It's part of the fun. You wake up every day, you discover something new. Because sometimes when we work, people like me that work in the public sector, they say, you see all these people working in high tech, developing solutions that heal, that solve problems in the world, create a lot of economic value. These people are amazing, and they are concentrating on one thing.
Whereas you're doing it.
Now, as an ambassador, you're like a bee. You jump from flower to flower. You always have an opportunity to learn, to taste a new taste, to find something.
So you're
that you
carrying a
know.
lot of pollen, basically,
Yeah,
ready
yeah.
to distribute it.
So you can. It's very diverse. It's a constant learning, and also connecting between people. Doing the connections. When you know your country very well, and you have connections in your country, you can connect people with the country that you serve in,
That you're going to.
and vice versa. And this is really fun. It's because you see that as a result of the connections you make, things happen.
Yes.
Whether it be cultural, a movie
You can create
production,
impact to a large
or a
extent.
business alliance, or a new factory, or a new something that is now trending is R&D
Yes.
done in India. Now, just in the last 2 or 3 weeks, it was really remarkable. Different startups and unicorns from Israel got to the conclusion that it's worthwhile for them to look for development teams of engineers in India. Because Indian engineers are very creative, they are very astute, very, they want to work, and they cost less. So here, I just met last week a guy from a company called TeamScale that does actually recruits teams like that all over India for unicorns in Israel, and they pay about 50-60 lakhs per year for engineering, for every engineer.
That's a decent salary.
Which is a pretty decent salary in India, but in Israel, because of the cost of life in Israel, the average salary of such an engineer would be something like $10,000 about $10,000 to $20,000 per month. In a year, that's much more than 50-60 lakh. Okay, so
quite a lot more than 50-60 lakh.
So people are coming here, establishing factories. They have ideas there, and what India can provide is scale. Because we are small, we have small companies
that we have. Yes.
Here you can produce for a larger market, you can produce for the world. And what is happening in India now is amazing because you are opening up. India.
Which is why, to a large extent, we are a very, very big market. We're becoming very, very relevant too.
Yeah, not just the Indian market. What is happening is that as a result of the fact that India has signed all these trade agreements, now you are more open to the world. It means that you want to compete in outside markets, and this is also another complementarity we have because we are such a small market that we didn't have any choice. From the beginning of our existence, we had to be able to export, to compete in other markets. India enjoyed the local market, didn't require competition with other markets. Now,
it's opening up.
You have to do it, which is great news because when you compete, it means that you become more efficient, that you produce more, that you earn more, and Israel is there to complement India because you can give the scale. And we export innovation, but you also do innovation. So that's a great combination.
The holding hands is important at this point in time more than anything else. You've moved to India, you said 2 years ago. Did you move with your family?
With my wife. My kids are already grown up.
Okay. And what do they think of India? And what is their, before anybody comes to India, there is a perception that they have. Yeah. So I don't want to ask yours. I've heard. I want to know what was your family's perception of India, and then when they came to India,
Look, for the average Israeli, including my kids, India is the place that you come after the army.
Yes, yes, I have met so many. Whenever I've gone for a trek at Dharamshala, everybody who's out of the army is there, literally.
So they come because they come to relax, to taste a culture that is more, that is different. That takes the time and is much less intense than what we have in Israel, and they sort of absorb that kind of thing, and then they come back to Israel, and some of them, they fall in love and they come again, and some of them they just cherish it as an experience for their life.
Yes.
But now India is becoming much more than that. India is becoming a place that you do business in. India is a place that you do, academic cooperation with. India, I think, is becoming more relevant to the world because India is opening up. And as I said, what we have in common is that people, the young generation, the Generation Z, here is very empowered. Mm-hmm. They are optimistic.
And they want to, and they want to
succeed.
Change. Yes. They're hungry.
And this is what we have in common. People are complaining about overpopulation, but we like kids. The average family in Israel has 3 kids. I have 3 kids. And in India, people love to have kids. Okay.
Yes.
They want to live. We're
a very, very open, free country. Nobody wants to be controlled to a large extent in a lot of ways.
And this spirit is something that I think creates an immediate click,
which is similar between both of our cultures.
Yeah.
Now, a quick rapid fire. Yeah. You will look at the camera.
Yeah. Okay.
3 things, 3 Indians you really want to meet?
Of course, Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
3.
I would like to meet. Well, I don't know whether it's a person, but there are places I haven't gone yet. So I'd like to see parts of India I haven't seen, like, for example, Ladakh.
I was going to ask when you were talking about treks that, have you been to Ladakh? Yes.
The Nicobar Islands.
Beautiful.
I would like to go to the eastern coast of India,
Yes.
which I haven't discovered yet. To some of the nature reserves I haven't been yet visiting.
Okay, fair.
In Assam. There are many things I want to do.
One person, since you did mention movies in Bollywood, one Bollywood person you'd be very interested to know about or meet.
Oh.
Are you
I don't remember the name, but the movie star of
Dhurandhar.
Yes.
Ranveer Singh.
Yeah.
Ranveer Singh.
Yeah.
What do you like about Dhurandhar?
Look, I think that the intensity of the character. I think that sometimes in life, when you are under, everybody in their life, they have the moments that they are tested.
Yes.
And that they have to overcome several hurdles, and they have to restrain some of their natural tendencies in order to achieve a goal. Now, in the case of this movie, the character had to do a kind of a monumental effort that has
an impact.
And you have to give everything. You have to give everything. And this reminds me a lot of Israelis, because we also give a lot. Not to the extent that this character gave in the movie.
So it's a fiction,
but you have to give a lot. You have to give to your country, to your family. You have to endure. Okay?
A lot, yes.
Yes. So this is what I liked about the movie. Not necessarily the violence, but the endurance, the being focused on a purpose and do whatever it takes in order to achieve it for a noble cause. Okay?
You should probably look at more Amitabh Bachchan movies. You would like them, Ambassador.
Okay.
They would be very interesting to see.
Okay.
One Indian sweet that you would like to take to Israel and get everybody to try.
So of course, gulab jamun. There's this. What is the name of this fruit that you made the ice cream from? The green one.
Kiwi?
No. I forgot the name. It's an ice cream. Like, you have different ice creams that don't exist. They are done from fruits that don't exist in Israel. Like the jamun, for example. You have the jamun ice cream. So there's a green one. I don't remember the name, but
a green ice cream.
Yeah.
Like, I can know the pistachio, but I'm sure that's not something that's unique to India.
It's unique, and I never tasted it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that is fantastic. Perfect. I think we're done with everything. What is the one thing you'd like to say to everybody who's seeing about India, Israel? What do you want to say? One thing about what's happening in the world right now, where Israel is at this point in time.
Look, I think that we are really having challenging times in Israel. We had to, undergo 3 years, a lot of challenges, and on the one hand, I'm very proud of what we've managed to achieve. In terms of, as I told you before, in times of testing, you have an opportunity to uncover the personality, the potential that the people have. And the fact that we've been able to be resilient, to continue to function, that is something that gives me a lot of pride. The world is having a lot of crisis now. When you see the number of conflicts that we have now, I think I saw it last week. It's today the number of conflicts in the world are like double the number we had about 10, 15 years ago. There are a lot of challenges with climate. And I think that what we need in order to overcome is more solidarity, more teamwork, and I'm sensing it here when I'm here. I sense that the sky is the limit, because this country really started from a point that was very difficult after so many centuries of invasions and exploitation, and you see how through this through this empowerment, how this will to succeed. People are changing, people are building, people are succeeding, and you see the trajectory. You can see the trend. You know, this country is like a construction site.
Yes, it is.
So it's going to take time, but I'm sure you're going to reach the safe shores.
Yes, and the journey is as beautiful and as challenging.
So
and
we are doing this journey together. It's a difficult journey, but also it's a beautiful journey. And I'm sure then when we celebrate 100 years of independence, we will enjoy a much higher level of not only confidence but also quality of life. And I'm happy that we can, help each other to reach to that point.
I think that's a fantastic thing. The one question that everybody wants to know in the world, will the war ever end?
Hopefully, yes. I think that we have reached a situation which now most of our country is pretty secure. We had for many years, we thought that we can, postpone conflict.
Yes.
Because we were concentrated in developing our economy and we ignored, huge threats that were being built around us. Unfortunately, on the 7th of October, it exploded in our faces, and we had to, embrace that and deal with the challenge. So now we are created these buffer zones around Israel, and it's tough. Sometimes you think that human nature is such that you can basically negotiate anything, and you can actually reach into agreement with people that you tend to believe that
I would assume as we are growing that
nature
yes,
is very pragmatic, but the challenge is that when you deal with very radical people, then that you cannot reach that point, and it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. But at the end of the day, you understand that this is part of reality. You have to understand that these challenges will come time and again, and you cannot surrender to them because you have to defend your country, you have to defend your family, you have to protect your children, and we don't have any choice. We are going to continue to not only to survive, we are going to thrive.
I hope we all do thrive. Thank you for that, Ambassador. Thank you very
Pleasure.
much.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Namaste.